there folks, I thought it was a good time to do another thread response, this time to Simon Vinyl Dale. Hello there Simon, I hope you're doing well. You have a thread where you want us to show 45 45's, 45 vinyl singles. Very interesting concept and suits me really real fine. Right in my backyard. And as you can see, I have no problem picking out 45 vinyl singles. Definitely not. I have picked out 45 singles from the 80s, since most of these in these shelves are from 80s and early 90s, and mostly from 80s. I thought it was fitting, and I have picked singles that I haven't shown before, which was the biggest challenge to know what I have shown and not shown during my 7 years here. But I don't think that I have shown it before, and if I have, enjoy it anyway. I have tried to avoid those big hits also, those hits that you might see everywhere. So I've concentrated on some stuff that aren't all that ordinary. Some you might say that I never heard of most of these. Well, hopefully you get inspired to search for them at YouTube or whatever you use, and be curious enough to buy from that artist, learn about that artist. So I need some space actually if I'm going to flip singles, so I'm going to move out to the balcony. But it was fun to do a shooting in front of these single shelves. It was a long time since I did that before. So with that, let's move to the balcony. Well, let's start. All of these are in alphabetic order, since they are in alphabetic order in the shelves, and it's easier for me to put them back in the shelves if I show them in alphabetic order. So let's start with Aha from Norway. This is I Call Your Name from 1990. We're talking at least 5 years after Take On Me. Really great, more adult Aha, if you would like to call it that. Great single, underestimated. ABBA, The Day Before You Came. The Day Before You Came is released back in 1982. So this is one of the final ABBA songs. We have Herb Alpert with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis in the production. Vocal by Janet Jackson in the song Diamonds. A soul funky Herb Alpert. We have Aztec Camera, How Men Are. Really great band. Roddy Frame. Bananarama, Preacher Man. Bananarama, little when their fame has started to fade away, but this song is very underrated in my opinion. We have a George Benson, Twice the Love from 1988. A Blancmange, That's Love That It Is. I'm very surprised that this didn't become as big hit as the more famous today synth-pop classics like Human League's Don't You Want Me Baby or Ultravox Vienna and so on, because it had potential in my opinion. And actually it has a connection with ABBA, because on Blancmange album Mange Tout they do a version of this song, The Day Before You Came, on ABBA. And in the video, Agneta from ABBA is also in that one. We have Ochi Brown, and who is Ochi Brown, you might ask? Well, it was one of Stock Aitken Waterman's early protégés in the English disco era in the 80s, and it didn't become that big as many of the others in the same stable, Kylie Minogue, Rick Astley, Jason Donovan, Ben Ram, and so on. But this song is really great. 100% Pure Pain. Belinda Carlisle, Circle in the Sand from 1988. This is one of the earliest singles that I actually bought myself, which explains why I have written on it. Shame on me. But I guess that's history. We have Paul Carrack, I Live by the Groove. A later Paul Carrack, or later at least, when when the fame has begun to drop a bit. Nene Cherry, Man Child. Her daughter has just released a new single, but I prefer Mother, musically. Jane Child, another name that you might ask, who is Jane Child? I heard her in Swedish radio a couple of times in the late 80s, and I thought that this song was real great. A great funky disco track. Really worth checking out. I Don't Wanna Fall in Love is the title of the song. More Stock Aitken and Waterman. We're talking Walk in My Shoes, the follow-up to her big hit They Say It's Gonna Rain from 1986. 5 Star, The Slightest Touch from 1987. This song is actually been re-released by British group Steps recently. I've heard it and I actually prefer the original, much more funkier. Italo Disco, why not? Survivor, Mike Francis, an early one from a really great song from 1984. This first. Aretha Franklin and Whitney Houston together. Really interesting, great song with an interesting title. It isn't, it wasn't, it ain't never gonna be. Sophia George, Jamaica-born reggae disco singer with a little cult classic. Young man, you too girly. Really cool reggae pop song. Per Gessle from Roxette in a solo single called Galning, which is Lunatic. More Swedish, Anders Glenmark. What is he most famous for people who isn't Swedish? You can hear him in the background in the trying to get some order here. Put them there. You can hear him in the background in the recordings from Björn Ulvaeus and Benny Andersson's musical Chess. This is a song from 1988 called Bröllopet, The Wedding. French and Shin with the song Troisième Sexe, which means the third sex. A really underrated song from their album Number 3. Really great French new wave synth pop from mid 80s. And we're moving to British house, Inner City, and Good Life. Really great and funky and great groove. Pure 80s, 70s, 80s soul. Isley Brothers, Go All the Way from 1980. I said it before, I say it again. 1980 was maybe the best year for soul music. That year had so many great soul albums released. Katrina and the Waves, and That's the Way. Forgotten's great song. That is a reminder that Katrina and the Wave was so much more than just the massive overplayed Walking on Sunshine. Mark King from Level 42 in a solo single, I Feel Free. And this single is from 1984, so it's released actually while Level 42 was still active actually. Julian Lennon, the son of John Lennon, Valot, from 1984. We have French artist Leo with the song La Banana Split. A little synth pop song in French. Mandy with the song I just mentioned, Human League's Don't You Want Me Baby, but in her own version. Mandy as in Mandy Smith, who was famous for being together with Rolling Stones' Bill Wyman once upon a time. The Manhattans, more early great soul music, early 80s soul music, Crazy. We have Swedish singer Tina Moe, sadly forgotten. She never became big in Sweden, and very sad because she was worth being big. So I definitely think she was underrated. This is a song from a movie called Inga kan älska som vi. No one can love like us. And the song is called Drömmarnas förväntan, Expectations of the Dreams. Some synth pop, Italo disco style. This is Italian group Novecento, and the song Moving On. Actually was a blind buy when I found it, and I actually think it's a really, really great 80s disco, Italo disco synth pop track. O&D, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, and their single Dreamin', which was one of the final singles that they released as a duo back in the 80s. Because after this, Annie McCluskey went to run O&D on his own and had those hit singles, Sailing on the Seven Seas and Pandora's Box and so on. And Paul Humphries didn't return until decades later. Italian band Radiorama. This is a cult single, actually, more like. Great beat, but I've never been a fan of Radiorama. But this is a very, very interesting song. As you can see, they have picked their influence from the movie Aliens, or like they say it, they call it aliens. So they're singing aliens, aliens. A little lesson in English, maybe. So, but it is a cult classic. Prefab Sprout, Hey Manhattan, from 1988. Chris Rea, he's on the beach, even when it's coming late when we're approaching September. My favorite, one of my favorite singers, German Sandra, and the single Stop for a Minute, from 1987. And we have some hard rock, actually, believe it or not. Scorpions, Rhythm of Love. Way before Wind of Change. Fergal Sharkey, Judel Thief. Follow-up to the big hit A Good Heart. If I'm not wrong, this is a song about Maria McKee from Lone Justice, but I'm not 100% about that. Simple Minds, a great song from the Once Upon a Time album, Ghost Dancing, maybe fitting when we soon approaching Halloween. Staple Singers, and the cover of Pacific Gas Electric song Are You Ready? Are You Ready? And when we added the covers, Dolly Parton's Jolene has been covered in a great 80s almost synth pop style by the girl duo Strawberry Switchblade back in 1985. Having a lot of singles from 1985, but now we're mixing up with one from 88. Tepau with a singer, Carol Decker, and a live single actually called Sex Talk. Wax, Andrew Gold, Graham Goldman from 10cc, and the single Ball and Chain, 1985. Jane Wiedlin from the Go-Go's, and Blue Kiss, also from 1985. This is a great one. Zino from Italy with What's Your Name, and this is a very fun song where they have mixed samples from James Bond movies, most from Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever, but it is a really great really great James Bond pastiche. And finally, on Z, we have the group Psy. And you know what they call Psy? Backwards, it's called jazz, because they are a little jazzy in their sound. A little more like smooth jazz style in Swedish. Tänker på dig, Thinking of You, with the singer Anna Nederdal. So, that was 45 singles. And there are a couple of contests out there that I will make and some other stuff that I have to do also. So until next time, I hope that you are satisfied. Simon Vinyl Dale, really fun to do this thread. I hope that you and everybody else have a real nice time, and take care everybody. So long.